Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Top 5 to Stay Alive for March 2020. Hey, listen, March comes in like a lion, goes out like a bear, but goes out like a lamb. But today in Chicago, it's supposed to be in the 50s, so it's coming in like a lamb. So that's good news. All right, now, today's Top 5 is pretty important because topic number 5 is going to have to do with coronavirus. How you can protect yourself. So you're going to want to stay tuned all the way to topic 5. So let us begin, because today's a little longer than normal. We begin with topic number 1. When your doctor puts you on blood pressure drugs, he probably gave you a simple choice. You know it. Take these drugs or die. They've always told us that the hypertension meds are saving us from heart failure, aneurysms, or even having a stroke. But what if these wonder pills are actually putting us in an early grave? A shocking new study shows a class of popular blood pressure drugs can lead to patient death in one of the most devastating ways. If you're already on one of them, you need to know the dangers you're facing. And if you've managed to avoid taking them so far, here's why you should never give in to your doctor's sales tactics. Angiotensin receptor blockers, better known as ARBs, are one of the drugs most commonly given to patients struggling to control their blood pressure. In fact, your conventional doctor will probably use an ARB drug as a first line of defense against hypertension, and he'll give it to you if you've been diagnosed with heart failure too. Even with such side effects as headache, dizziness, and vomiting, they're prescribed over other classes of blood pressure medications because they're supposed to be safer. But a recent study out of Canada just blew that theory out of the water. Older folks who are prescribed an ARB are committing suicide at an alarming, more significant rate than those who are prescribed other blood pressure medications. And they're doing it within 100 days of starting up on the drugs. I don't know about you, but to me, that reeks of an immediate side effect, and the worst kind you can ever imagine. The really scary part is the researchers don't know why they're killing themselves. They study subjects were seniors at least 66 years old, many still in the prime of their lives, and the suicide rate was significant even among those who previously shown zero suicidal tendencies. This latest news comes on the heels of the discovery of a nightmare cocktail of cancer-causing chemicals in the ARB drug valsartan, a revelation bad enough to prompt several drug makers to recall it. Experts are recommending heart patients switch to a different class of blood pressure meds called ACE inhibitors. There's just one problem with that. Last year, it came out that ACE inhibitors were linked to an increased risk of lung cancer. And back then, Big Pharma-backed researchers said that you should switch to ARBs. So which is it? Face it. This is no lesser of two evils here. They're both bad news. The truth is you may not need to be on drugs at all if your blood pressure is on the high side. Supplements like Arginine and L-citrulline have been proven to keep blood pressure readings in check without that pesky suicide risk or getting lung cancer. In fact, there are dozens of natural alternatives you can try that won't carry the risk of taking your own life. My personal favorite, of course, is CardioForLIfe. It contains both L-arginine, L-citrulline, and many other nutrients to help get that pesky blood pressure under control without those toxic medications with their scary side effects. And remember, new research shows your blood pressure should be 140/90 if you're over 50, and 150/90 if you're over 60. And if you go into the doctor and you hit one of those numbers, he's going to tell you, we got to put you on a medicine. Don't believe him. Let's move on to topic number 2. When the weather outside is frightful, that sounds like a song, cold and flu aren't delightful. But this time of year, they get all the attention. But there's another infection we need to pay close attention to. And while you might think of it as a childhood illness, it can have devastating ramifications for older folks who catch it. It's strep throat. And it's so contagious, it can run rampant in hospitals and elder care facilities once a person catches it. The streptococcus bacteria are notoriously difficult to erase with antibiotics, but an ancient herb of courage can send the soreness packing and keep the infection from invading the rest of your body. During the Middle Ages, warriors who were going off to battle would often receive gifts to boost their bravery, and they almost always included the leaves of the thyme plant. Medieval folk singers praised it along with fellow symbolic herb parsley, sage, and rosemary, which sounds like a Simon and Garfunkel song. And thanks to the Romans, we include thyme in many of our flavorful, savory dishes. But thyme isn't so much more than a kitchen spice. It's a savior for a killer sore throat. Oil of thyme has been used as a folk remedy for coughing and scratching throat, particularly when drunk as a tea, but its powers go way beyond your standard cough syrup or drop. Just as it's natural disinfectant for your home, it's a potent germicidal alternative for fungus infections, parasites, and bacteria in your body. In the 14th century, people all over the globe turned to thyme to protect them from the Black Death that ravaged the world's population. Compared to the plague, strep throat is an easy target for thyme, but it does more than just soothe the soreness and calm the cough. It gets its power from the antiseptic compound called thymol, which also gives thyme its distinctive aroma and flavor. Thymol has been proven effective against deadly superbugs. While strep throat doesn't have the reputation for being a killer, it's not always just a run-of-the-mill infection. It can be particularly dangerous, especially for older folks. Left untreated, invasive strep bacteria can travel to your kidneys and even cause your organs to fail. Believe it or not, untreated strep infections can kill healthy tissue in your hands, feet, arms, and legs, causing some adults to lose a limb. And the bacterium that causes it, Streptococcus pyogenes, or Group A strep, has learned to resist the antibiotic most commonly used to treat it, erythromycin. Combine that with an immune system that it isn't quite as strong as it used to be, and you've got a recipe for disaster. But a 2010 study found that thymol can actually make strep bug more susceptible to antibiotics, essentially reversing its drug's resistance. And there's nothing safer than thyme. If you develop a sore throat and have more trouble swallowing, and those white or yellow spots appear on the back of your throat, your doctor will write you a prescription for antibiotic and tell you to take Tylenol for fever. Don't sell yourself short. Also gargle with thyme oil diluted in warm water, or thyme leaves or thyme oil to your olive oil and drizzle it over everything. You can also purchase thyme oil at swansonvitamins.com. Let's move on to topic number 3. At least some good news before the year's over. We can now claim victory on one of the worst insecticides out there. The feds tried to sneak it past us, but now Federal Appeals Court has slammed down the gavel and ordered the U.S. to stop selling chlorpyrifos. The ruling isn't just a win for us and our grandbabies whose brains can't handle even the tiniest level of the exposure. It exposes yet another federal agency for the sham operation it is. And it finally exposes the truth about the chemical with a darker history than you can imagine. There's no way that the EPA officials could have ever known that chlorpyrifos was safe. A 2012 study confirmed that exposure to the pesticides results in thinner brain tissue, lower IQ, and behavioral changes, and the effects are likely permanent. No less than 9 EPA scientists confirmed its potential adverse neurodevelopmental effects in infants and children in an October 2015 on prenatal exposure to chlorpyrifos. But in 2017, the federal agency ignored all the scientific evidence and reversed an attempt to ban the bug killer. Now, it's clear that by continuing to allow the poison to taint our food supply, the feds tried to put powerful polluters before the health of our children and grandchildren. Dow Argo Sciences, a subsidiary of Dow Chemicals, sells about 5 million pounds of chlorpyrifos a year as an agricultural pesticide, and it's doled out millions of dollars of lobbying in D.C. during the current administration. The creation of the chemical in the 1960s helped Dow become the chemical giant it is today. Chlorpyrifos, sold under the brand names Lorsban, Dursban, and others, belongs to a family of pesticides called organophosphates. It is a history of stuff of nightmares. Chemically, those pesticides are similar to the deadly nerve gases secretly developed by the Nazis for World War II. And as history has shown, the Nazis showed no mercy in their attacks. Tabin and sarin are two of the world's most infamous organophosphate nerve gases used by the military forces from Nazi Germany to modern-day Syria. They can take down a target in 20 minutes or less. No doubt chlorpyrifos is a killer chemical. In the court's opinion, there was no justification for the EPA to tolerate the use of chlorpyrifos in light of the scientific evidence that its residual on food causes neurodevelopmental damage to children. Not only that, but it's incredibly dangerous to the farmers who use it, as it can poison them when they ingest it, inhale it, or absorb it through their skin. The EPA can appeal the court's decision, but I don't think the agency can convince any judge that it didn't break the law, or that it hasn't ignored the studies that are strong enough to warrant banning chlorpyrifos. The chemical has already been banned for the residential use, but to strike it from the food supply, make sure you only buy organic fruits and vegetables and scrub them clean. Topic number 4. Here's my new plan to make $1 million. I'm going to sell a hot new drug that everyone will want. It's going to be a top seller because it'll promise to slash the risk of death from two of the scariest boogeymen for heart patients. Heart attack by 40% and stroke by 60%. When I say this drug will be hot, I mean it because that's just what it'll be. Hot sauce. Except instead of $2.99 for a bottle of Tabasco that'll last for months, my pharmaceutical version of it will run for hundreds of dollars a month. Think I'm crazy? Wait till you get a load of what the FDA just approved. The feds have once again expanded the approval for Vasipa after studies found it can cut the risk of major cardiovascular events by 25%. You see the commercials on TV. Good, sure, that's a solid number. However, Vasipa isn't some truly life-changing drug created with cutting-edge science. It's little more than an inexpensive synthetic version of one of the two main omega-3 fatty acids found in plain old fish oil, EPA. This drug runs about $300 a month. Most people don't pay that, of course, since insurance may cover it. No wonder our premiums are through the roof. But even if your share of the bill is $25 copay, you're still paying way more than you should for a basic high-quality fish oil supplement. In fact, a decent fish oil supplement will cost about $25 a year, not a month. And the supplement will also give you a whole lot more, including brain-saving DHEA along with your heart-happy EPA. So forget the drug. It's not worth it at any price. Get some honest-to-goodness fish oil instead. And while I was kidding about making a hot sauce drug, I wasn't joking about the benefits. One research study found that eating chili peppers 4 times a week will cut the risk of death from heart attack by 40% and stroke by 60%. But don't stop there. For the ultimate heart-protecting, stroke-stopping, circulating-enhancing, life-preserving super plan, add these supplements to your routine if you haven't already. 5 grams or 5,000 milligrams of L-arginine, 100 milligrams of coenzyme Q10, 500 milligrams of magnesium, 400 IUs of vitamin E. None of these things will make anyone rich, at least not until they give them the EPA treatment and sell a patent synthetic version as a drug. But they will protect your heart for just pennies a day. No surprise, CardioForLIfe contains all of these nutrients along with 500 milligrams of perilla oil, which is a better form of omega-3 extracted from a plant source instead of a fish source, which can contain mercury. And now, the most important thing I can tell you, topic number 5, we're going to talk about the coronavirus. First of all, I want to put to bed any rumors. This right here. No. Wives, tell your husbands that have been telling you that their doctor said drinking a lot of Corona beer will protect you from the coronavirus. This is not true. So tell them to quit bringing home the Corona beer. First of all, you can't catch it from drinking Corona beer, and it can't protect you from the coronavirus. To fight a dangerous virus from which there's no existing medical treatment, you must rely on your own immune system. It is well established in every nutrition book ever written that you need vitamin C to make your immune system work well, or to even work at all. Inadequate vitamin C intake is a worldwide problem that can be immediately and economically fixed with even modest amounts of supplemental vitamin C. Deaths will decrease. In one study, a mere 200 milligrams of vitamin C per day resulted in an 80% decrease in deaths among severely ill, hospitalized respiratory disease patients. Another recent study used the same low 200 milligram dose for infants and children under 5 years of age with severe pneumonia. The authors concluded that vitamin C is effective in reducing duration of severe pneumonia in child less than 5 years of age. Oxygen saturation was improved in less than 1 day. A single cheap big box discount store with vitamin C tablet will provide more than twice the amount used in the study above. And yes, with vitamin C, more is better. A lack of vitamin C has long been known, literally for decades, to increase susceptibility to viruses. It is one thing to be sick from a virus and another thing to entirely die from a viral instigated disease. The greatest danger of the coronavirus is escalation to pneumonia, just like the common day flu. For this, much higher doses of vitamin C are indicated, preferably 25 grams by IV. By the way, people don't die from the flu, they die from pneumonia. And oftentimes, all the pneumonia cases that people are dying from are rolled into flu, so that 38,000 a year or whatever it is really overstated. Although many will rightly maintain that the dose should be high of vitamin C, even a low supplemental amount of vitamin C saves lives. This is very important for those with low incomes and few treatment options. We're talking about 20 cents worth of vitamin C a day to save lives. You won't hear it on the media, will you? You won't hear it from any of the expert doctors. In fact, did you know that China right now imported 50,000 tons of vitamin C to do research against coronavirus? But not here in the U.S. Medical orthodoxy obsessively focuses on searching for a vaccine and a drug for coronavirus. While they are looking for what would be fabulously profitable approaches, we have with vitamin C an existing, plausible, clinically demonstrated method to treat what coronavirus patients die from: severe acute respiratory syndrome or pneumonia, and it's available right now. Anyone saying that vitamin C therapy can stop coronavirus is already being labeled as promoting false information and promoting fake news. Even the sharing of verifiable news and direct quotes from the credentialed medical professional is being restricted or blocked on social media giants like Facebook, Google, and Twitter. Now, what if you test positive for the virus and end up at the hospital? What should you do? When faced with the hospitalization, the most powerful person in the entire hospital system is the patient. However, in most cases, the system works on the assumption that the patient will not claim that power. If on your way in you sign the hospital's legal consent form, you can unsign it at any time. You can revoke your permission. Just because somebody has permission to do one thing doesn't mean that they have permission to do everything. There's no such thing as a situation that you cannot reverse. You can change your mind about your own personal health care. It concerns your very life. The rights of the patient override the rules of any institution. If the patient doesn't know that, or if they're not conscious, or if they don't just have the moxie to do it, the next most powerful person is a spouse. The spouse has enormous influence and can do almost as much as a patient. If the patient is incapacitated, the spouse can and must do even more. If there's no spouse present, the next most powerful people in the system are the children of the patient. When you go to the hospital, bring along a big red pen and cross out anything you don't like in the hospital's permission form. And before you sign it, add anything you want. So for instance, right on there, I want intravenous vitamin C, 25 grams per day until I state otherwise. And should they say, we're not going to admit you with this, please tell them to put it in writing if they refuse to admit you. What do you think their lawyers are going to do with that? They have to admit to you. It's a game and you can win it. But you can't win if you don't know the rules, and basically they don't tell you the rules. This is deadly serious. Medical mistakes are now the third leading cause of death in the U.S. Yes, medical errors kill 400,000 people, or 400,000 Americans every year. That's 1,100 each and every day. There are mistakes of commission and mistakes of omission. Failure to provide intravenous vitamin C is literally a grave omission. Do not allow yourself or your loved ones to be deprived of a simple, easy to prepare and administer IV of vitamin C. In conclusion, take note. If you do nothing else, start taking vitamin C right away, at least 3 grams per day, spread across the entire day. That's 1,000 milligram capsule every 8 hours, or a level teaspoon of powder dissolved in a pint of filtered water, and then drink it all day long. If you catch the bug, it might be the virus. Simply increase your vitamin C intake to a rounded teaspoon of 4 to 5 grams in water every 3 to 4 hours, and keep taking it. For more specific instructions on intravenous vitamin C, email me at drharry, drharry, at Comcast.net, and I will reply with those instructions. There will be a 12.5 gram cocktail for early stages of the illness with mild symptoms, and a 25 gram cocktail for more severe symptoms. And now, let's move on to our testimonies. This is from a vet who served in Afghanistan. I have stopped taking my blood pressure med after being on it for 12 years by simply taking 1 scoop of CardioForLIfe once per day. And I always recommend 1 in the morning, 1 at bedtime. So good for you. If I skip taking for 2 to 3 days, my blood pressure jumps to about 180 over 120. I plan on sharing this product with my fellow patriots. Thanks for that, Michael. Number 2, the products that I have taken so far are HC Cleanse and the CardioForLIfe supplements. The supplements are very good. The CardioForLIfe gives me a lot of energy, good for implementing this during your workout. Also, the HC Cleanse works like it said. It keeps your digestive system healthy. I would recommend these products. Thanks, Loretta. Number 3, for your information, I just wanted you to know that I am continually telling others about CardioForLIfe. I recommend it to people all the time. It was first recommended to me by a healthcare practitioner. I had an ultrasound done on my carotid arteries. The test showed a 10% blockage. A year later, and every year since, I've been retested with no blockage. I just received my results from my latest test. Carotid arteries are still clear. I very much credit the CardioForLIfe. Best regards. Thanks for that, Mark. Number 4, I put my 82-year-old husband on Man Up, and I am here to say it actually works. Ooh. He had a green light prostate surgery, and the doctor just ruined him. He had many problems after that surgery. He was thinking his prostate was starting to bother him again due to urination problems, but so far it has definitely helped the sex end. We will see about the prostate. Thanks for your wonderful products. Also, you suggested I take it, and I watched the video, so I was wondering if you still suggest that. Yes, I do, Pat. I recommend women take 1 capsule a day, men take 2, and for your husband, I would also find a good prostate formula. I've been taking a good prostate formula since I turned 40, and I have no problems with my prostate, and I do take Man Up every day. And finally, testimony number 5. I like this one. Tom and I just finished a week-long kayak trip 8 miles out into the Gulf of Mexico in the 10,000 Islands National Park, Everglades City, Florida. We paddled out 8 miles to a tiny little island, camped out on the beach, and fished 6 days before paddling back. At our ages, we both contribute our ability to tackle something like this to our use of CardioForLIfe, Man Up, Flex, and other Health Guardian products. We have been using them for many years. While sitting in camp, Tom looked up and saw the jar of CardioForLIfe sitting out with the Gulf of Mexico in the background. Tom thought you would like these pictures. Thanks for great products and all the sound advice you have shared with us through the years. That's from James and Tom. And let me show you a picture of that, people. This is pretty cool. Ready? All right, there it is. It actually looks like the Survivor series, you know, and don't leave home without it. Forget the coconuts, you know, just have your CardioForLIfe and you're good to go. And, of course, this might also help a little bit. CardioForLIfe and Corona beer. There you go. Well, I hope all of you stay healthy. Remember, up your vitamin C. If you get any symptoms, add a little thyme, add some colloidal silver. You will be fine. Fear not. CardioForLife boosts your immune system, so you should, I mean, people tell me all the time, you know, take CardioForLife. I've never had another cold or flu. I never get it either. So stay on CardioForLife 2, maybe 3 times a day if you need to. And if you get a little sniffle, little thing in the throat, start doing the vitamin C and colloidal silver. And from now till the end of time, this is Dr. Harry saying, God bless you all, and we'll see you next month.